Hello, this is Barbara Nicolato, Nick Snacks, with Bello's Designs. Today I'm going to show you a very simple process about how you can lift flowers from a gel plate that you've picked from your yard or garden. These make some exquisite natural looking cards. Let's look at some of the materials we'll be using. My first item is going to be a disposable cloth or a paper towel. I'm going to need 3 sheets of multifarious cardstock. I'll be using Lavinia's elliptical gel plate, and an acrylic plate to hold it. I'll be using some brayers, as well as Liquitex heavy body acrylic paint in titanium white, in naphthol crimson, and phthalocyanine green. I'm going to add a little white acrylic to the crimson that you see there to lighten up the color a little bit. And then I'm going to apply it with the brayer to the gel plate. The gel plate should be evenly coated with a thin layer of acrylic, and the way to achieve it is to just keep going over it with the brayer. Now I'm going to let the blossoms from my weeping cherry lie across the plate. I'm now going to be removing some of the acrylic with a paper towel, but if you want to do it with a cloth, it'll work beautifully, and you can actually make another craft using the cloth. When I take it off, it has a really nice, sort of like a negative silhouette, and it actually makes a beautiful design and would be lovely for a background. In all honesty, I repeated the process later, and I used a piece of multifarious cardstock to lift off the excess acrylic, and it looks beautiful. The next step is to remove the flower from the gel plate, and if some petals are lost along the way, just pull out a tool, a tweezer or something, and lift them off carefully. I'm not going to discard the flowers as of yet because I'll be using them again for another print. It's now time to start lifting off the print. I've allowed it a little bit of time for the acrylic to dry. In order to lift off that print that you see in reddish pink, you're going to need a wet layer of acrylic. So I'm going to dab on a little bit of titanium white acrylic, heavy body, and with a brayer, I'm going to spread it over the top. And again, I'm going to try to get a uniform layer of acrylic and a thin layer. Now, before this acrylic dries, I'm going to put a piece of multifarious cardstock over it, and then I will lift the paper off, and that's what we refer to as pulling the print. I think there's an advantage to putting the gel plate onto an acrylic plate because you're able to turn it around, see exactly what the print looks like on the other side, and see if it transferred properly onto the cardstock. The texture left by the paper towel is also visible in the background of this print. I'm going to repeat this exact same process over again, except instead of using the cloth to lift off some of the acrylic paint, I'll be using a sheet of cardstock. I'm applying a thin and even coat of white, as I did with the first print that I pulled. However, it's also really pretty if you add other colors of acrylic. So I've chosen a green here, and I'm just going to dab it with the brayer here and there, and that is going to form the color of the background. So let's look at some of the things that I've created. I had a vase of Gerbera daisies on the kitchen table that have pretty much expired. So before throwing them away, I thought, let me take one and see if I could make a print out of it. And I did, and it turned out beautifully. I hope you've enjoyed this video and will give us a thumbs up. Please visit us at delbellosdesigns.com, where you can find most of your crafting needs. Also, if you haven't already done so, we have 2 Facebook groups that are listed here. And if you want to do it the easy way, you could just take your cell phone and take a picture of this last screen. Thank you and have a great crafting day.